Hey everybody, I'm back, and today I want to talk about the paradox between the little kid in us and our maturity. Ever since I was a child, people have usually looked at me as being probably overly mature for my age. Even when I was, real young, I started doing chores that my brothers wouldn't do it as teenagers, and I started doing them at 6 and 7 years old. I started mowing grass, uh, I cleaning the car. I'd go out and wash the vehicles. I'm barely old enough to, you know, stand up. I had to get on a ladder, and wash the car, the tops of the car or the truck off. And I push mowed until my dad finally, I think at the age of 7, finally let me get on the riding mower. We had an acre of grass to mow as a child, and so he'd finally, let me get on the riding mower. And it seemed like once I took on these responsibilities, um, I was good to go for life. I mean, it was like that was my job. Um, I trimmed the bushes. I did things, and my brothers would always use the excuse. I mean, they were both younger than me. I was the oldest of three. They'd always use the excuse, I'm too young, I'm too little, I'm too this, I'm too that. So, I had a brother that was 13 months younger than me. No, take that back. He was 11 months younger than me. And I had another brother that was 3 years younger than me. So, we weren't that, far apart in age. My youngest brother would be the farthest apart, but both of my brothers always use the excuse, I'm too little, I'm too young, I'm too this, I'm too that. So all the responsibility ended up on my shoulders to do, a lot of this work around the house. Take out the trash, mow the grass. It just kind of fell on me. So a lot of people looked at me, as being more mature. I started playing music in church at the age of 7. I began to play piano at the age of 6, but I began to actually get up in front of the church at the age of 7, And so a lot of people saw me as being a little more mature. Now, I'm 6'1", so, back, and I was a pretty good sized boy back then, so I've always kind of looked the part of maturity as far as my stature. I was kind of a pretty good sized youngin'. And, but then also I had this personality and these responsibilities that also, kind of help facilitate that image, if you will, to the public. So, but on the flip side, and I've carried that image all these years. I mean, people still, as I grew older, my teen years and 20s and 30s and on up through my 40s, people still, you know, they see me as emotionally mature uh, fella. But on the flip side of that, there's this other part of me that's like a big kid, and I mean, it's like a little boy, and I can have the greatest time, and it seems like I connect with either the small children or the elderly, and all my life has been this way. I connect with one side or the other, but it's this margin in between that I've always struggled with all my life. You know, my peer group, for one thing, the people my age. Uh, I've always struggled with it. Now that I've just eclipsed 50, now that I've hit the 50 mark, um, I noticed that, I don't really connect with the middle age group, and I'm really at the latter end of that. So I'm starting to, when you can sign up for AARP, you kind of eclipse the middle age. You're going in the other direction. So, but I still, have this connection with the elderly people. I've got several in my church in their 80s and 90s, and they love me to death. Uh, the people I've had the most trouble with have been the people my age. It's like there's just, something there that there's friction. The children love me. I've had them literally. If I go on vacation, I've had the children, just cry and beg their mom and dad, when's the pastor coming back? When's Brother Troy coming back home? I miss Brother Troy. Where's he at? And I love to pick on them. I love to make them smile and laugh. And I can just connect with them, the small children. But once they get beyond teenage years, I start to that kind of starts to wane a little bit, and so it's a very rare thing for me to make a connection with adults that are not elderly. It's like, and there I have a few, but it's like it's how do I put this? It's like the pendulum is either way over here or it's way over there, but there's not much in between, So I wonder if you INFJs can relate to that. Do you have a hard time, establishing relationships in this middle zone, because I've noticed this my whole life and it's been frustrating to me. But, it seems like when I want to express that inner child in me, it's annoying to people, that are adults. It's like, because I can have a big time. Oh, I can cut up and I can laugh and I love it. And then at the same time, I can go very deep in conversation. I can be just as stoic and serious, intellectual, you name it. I'll go there, I'm not the smartest bulb in the pack by no means, but I'll engage the conversation. And I'll do my best, to make that work. But at the same time, there's this little kid in me that likes to pop out every once in a while and just, laugh and cut up. And, I can really read between the lines. I'll, blurt out little puns, little things that, to me it's funny. Then I've had a lot of people just act like that I'm annoying them when I do that, or that, it just went right over their head. They didn't get it, whatever. So, there's just difficulty for me connecting. And it takes a very special person, an adult, for me to connect in that way with. If somebody can connect with me where I can have a deep conversation and at the same time the little child pops out of me, that's an extremely special relationship, connection. I mean, there's just, because there's so few adults in this, like I said, in this in between that can give that to me. So how do you INFJs? How do you see that? I mean, do you understand that? Does it make sense to you? Let me know in the comments, because maybe it's just a me thing. I don't know. I might be just weird to everybody. It wouldn't be the first time I've been told I was weird. But anyway, I love all of you. You take care. God bless. That's a nice one.
It's a keeper.
You got you on?
Yeah, not quite as big as yours. Got one.
That's good enough.
Mine. I'm way down in the gizzards.
Ain't nothing wrong with that crappie. He's probably 11 inches, 10 and a half.